Good afternoon. Alright, really quick. I had a couple things I never published. I'm looking back and thinking about what actually got my interest before the whole video logging thing. So, really quick, an important thing in chocolate or whatever, or not whatever, Coca-Cola. The Cola is going to be the thing. Because I was like, I remember looking up being like, oh, it just has a very large amount marginal theobromine and other xanthines versus caffeine. Whereas the other thing, kind of like yerba mate, but even more so like that, where it's like slightly different. But not like chocolate where it's, I don't know, it's part of the British Force Marching tablets. When I read that, I laughed. Okay, yeah, so really quick. 116, I believe. The Dale from Dell. Thermodynamics, stimulating 30 bars and learns graph. Sorry though, I had some Gotu Kola right now, and I'm surprised how super annoyingly strong it was. And then I look right before I'm like, though this is the last straw, so to speak. I look in the chemistry of it, and it is completely weird. It's like as you met, it didn't when you did Gotu Kola chemistry on Google. It looks like a gigantic like hormonal steroid with like more things coming out of it. It doesn't make any sense. It's a little spooky actually. But so I know it's like when people bring it up, they always bring, oh, you mean the betel? You're talking about the betel nut, not the nut, but the Aracia palm, that sort of thing. That's what Gotu Kola is. No, it isn't. All right, it's just kind of like how history worked out. People do it once again. And I want to go back because my YouTube thing, it has the baseball player. Okay, 2 pages long. It should be. Sorry, once it kicked in, I made me think about why is those sort of different xanthines part of like non-drowsy Dramamine. And I could there's this fidgety feeling that's driving me crazy. I was like, oh god. But anyways, Kola Nitida, aka Kola Uru in Hausa, his name? Kola Goro, and then related to the Kola Acuminae, or something like that. In the cacao family, it's the Ceruaceae. Yeah, so the thing that I didn't publish was this coffee one, but it was crazy. It was like something about how diploid type leaves are part of this family, blah blah blah. And then recently I was just laughing at like, oh, they're like, oh, there's a little bush in the desert, that's part of the coffee family. And like, okay, whatever. Anyways, that one is very interesting because it's like the different, I guess, because of the leaf shapes, it even makes just like the double the site like diploid chemicals. It's like it keeps going octoploid to the end. We're going to talk about Kola from Starks. Huh. What is that, the whole Earth catalog? No, I'm just kidding. But, okay. It's used as a nut. The wood's used for carpentry, so kind of like acacia. Woodiness. Okay, according to the chemistry, Mr. James Duke, who I was going to look up besides going a little further into this, says the nuts are average of 3.5% caffeine and 1% theobromine, which is a lot, right? It's like 3 times higher. And then the related species contains less caffeine and only small amounts of theobromine. It's likely that the constituents of the nut contribute to the euphoric and narcotic effects. See, nothing like the let's go deeper. Because when I went to Google, it was just like, what the fuck? It didn't make any sense. Like I said, it didn't look like anything really like coffee. I mean, I guess it could if you're doing like the ways that the hexagonal shapes are like adjacent to each other, then yeah. But the thing that he has the baseball players, it makes me think about, oh, the tonic. So Louis Luynes, the French French writer, reports that animal studies indicate that cola is more effective in energizer than pure caffeine, yet concludes that it is caffeine that is principally responsible for the activity. So it's used in the favorites as alpine engineers, and said to increase muscular strength without undue mental stimulation. Today, mountaineers often do coffee beans instead. And the thing is, when I tried this last year, we got it, and it was like this big like bag of like milled powder that seemed like kratom or something. Once you got it on your hands, it was so incredibly drying. It was like the most annoying fucking thing in the world. I'm sorry to be like so negative about it, but it was remarkably strong. Like, yeah. But I remember just being like, touching it and being like, what the hell? It's like you're getting your hands covered in talcum powder. It's permanently annoying. Which is always right now. The weather is like that right now, and it's driving me freaking insane. So the Kola nuts are taken chewed, just like the bread beetle nuts, huh? See, is this even the nut? It seems like ridiculous. Okay, from the book of Kola, from Kitab Fatwa Ildo or something. It's better. It is better for your life. So people tell me it prolongs your life. Chewers have said it. If you're prolonging your life, you get the blessing of health in your body and all the wealth. Afterwards, you would never go to enter hell, but have the goodness of paradise. The book of Kola, which is from Katab Fawal Idal. So it's called the coffee of the Sudan. There are numerous species of cola, but Kola natita is preferred source of the prized nuts, with Kola imata or whatever in the second choice. And the kola nuts were one of the original ingredients in the 1886 of that innovative and remarkable herbal preparation called Coca-Cola. The bitter taste of the nuts, along with the slightly anesthetizing properties of coca, made a very tasty combination. And today, Coca-Cola contains only a token quantities of its two namesake, as the company lawyers feel that it's necessary to protect the trademark name of their product. So, calculating from the most believable from the several purported recipes in the industry journals and the internet, it is probably about 1/6000th of a cola nut in an average serving of Coca-Cola, which is about 1 milligram of decoconized coca leaf. So stupid. This is like a freaking who's on first, say a second, who's say they were say a second, blah 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 blah. That one stupid fucking setup. The cola nut? No, I meant the cola nut. Fucking goofy. Okay, he says, I use cola nut extract in my Osceola cream cola, which is an excellent herbal soda. I would use them right now, and I've heard that cola is still the basis of Welcome's more for its March tabloid, available in Great Britain. This is never expected, but this is where I was like, okay, this is one of those very far off ones. I'm like, okay, I want to check it out. But I don't remember all those gigantic shaped chemicals, or those phytochemicals. I just remember it was like a different monthly aroma, but I guess that makes sense. Because what was the thing about the toner? Like in the early millennium, it was a very big thing. Like before there were energy drinks necessarily, it was like just called like the tonics or some silly thing like that. And it kind of had this kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like encyclopedic kind of like health thing. They art to it sometimes too. This is I would say that was definitely a part of the history of it. Because I'm trying to look at what is the history of this cola nut anyways, and it was way too it's too encyclopedic, it's not stark enough. So, but anyways, go back. So, one more time. Today's Coca-Cola only contains 2 its namesake quantities, and lawyers feel it necessary. Calculating from the believable and several reported recipes from industry journals and the internet is probably about 1/6000th cola nut for every ounce serving of Coca-Cola, which is about milligram of decontamination. It doesn't make any sense. It is like a fucking setup. So stupid. Not really, but goddamn. The thing is, I don't even know. How would the DEA feel about all this stupid shit? Because they're like, oh yeah, well, it is acceptable anesthetic kind of thing. Not coca, but cocaine, but what I'm saying, is it before that? But it's not a good stimulant or something like that. It's an official thing. But it just seems weird. I was phrasing this. The cola taste is stimulated with citrus oils, cassia, and trace of neroli by adding USPC grade pharmaceutical caffeine. So I used it. I said I was at herbal soda, and he would like to use some now. My mouth's getting like full of grit. I heard that cola is still the basis of the Welcome's Forced March tablet. I think I looked this up. It's like, documentary about Can't Get You Out of My Head, like, that's hard to explain. One, now it's located, the feeling about centrist political stuff is like, because he goes into like how the British created science to manage people, manage all of nature and all this stuff, and that's like the thing that they don't want to describe. But it kind of makes sense now looking back, like, how would they even do that? Why would they even do that? You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, like, why? Because it's just obviously you have power of people and everything, but I just wanted to go back because yeah, it's silly. It's some product and I don't even know it. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, these nuts have been harvested, traded around West Africa to Sudan for at least a millennium, and cultivation of tree spread gradually from spread gradually from the eastward from Sierra Leone to Liberia and Volta, and finally to Nigeria. Nigeria, where Muslim traders from Mali monopolized distribution in the early 14th century and helped spread the nut from western Sudan to northern Africa. So it's like the center, I think, maybe. The Portuguese arrived at the 5th century and traded cola nuts along the West African coast. In the interior, cola nuts moved by camel caravan. God, my teeth feel so gritty all of a sudden. This is short, so I'm sorry. So a dose of cola is less than one nut, so these nuts are usually split and shared, reinforcing the social aspect of cola chewing. Throughout their history, cola has been an expensive item of prestige, and there are parables and warnings how to cola nut can impoverish a family. Just laughing, but thinking about all the things I see immediately online. There's nothing about the nuts. I'm sorry, just the idea about it flowering into a nut. It seems like it's already been all grabbed up. And then as you say, what are you talking about? But there was a sedative, intoxicating mint, Turkish mint. I can't remember what it is. Something where I brought it to Hamilton Morse's attention. What is it? Where you used to be able to buy it, and you can't buy it whatsoever. What, did people make it go extinct? I think they did. It's crazy. There's like only just one vendor in Australia that had it. Oh, and you can ship it. What the fuck? But it used to be really, really big. Like fucking, I've seen it on 30 different sites even. It's crazy. Intoxicating mint. Yeah. So let's go back. The ally is a little poetry. Kola, the tree of Ganga, worth great sums of money. The product of acetine, and anyone who becomes addicted to you will never stop paying money. Anyone who trades it in you will shamble and fall until he dies in destitution. An African poet on pilgrims to Mecca in 1911, pardon. You see the basket for it. I don't know. I'm just laughing though. All those photographs make no sense. How close? What do you mean nuts? This looks like freaking gardenias or whatever it's called. Yeah, gardenia. The poisonous plant. Freaking, you can't eat. Ridiculous. Okay, so signatures. The Hausa people claim that Kola is an aphrodisiac for women and specific erectile dysfunction in men. Kola was said to make one wiser, to protect one against sorcery, to improve self-discipline, and have the power to cure a broken heart. From Imam Imaru, we accept Kola as a gift, even if only a piece, a new good halves are very special indeed. For the pieces, they are more than significant, for he gives either is have high standing. I like that. So Kola or Guro is associated with business and social exchanges. For the secondary meaning of Guro is bribe. Huh. The Igbo of Nigeria celebrated the new millennium with a shrine decked with white cloth and bowls of nuts and white chalk, and of course drumming. 13 different towns in Imaribmar, our area, resonated the hosting of the New Year festivities in the Igbo, stating the Yoruba produce the Kola and the Hausa chew it, and the Igbo celebrate it. Like coming to goings, I don't know how to explain it. Silly. So the Kola nuts are important traditional ceremonial gift, especially with the rites of passage such as birthdays, marriages, funerals. When a Nigerian friend of mine wants to marry his mother, it's a long story. It's to save her from her second husband, to bring her back to her father's clan. He brought them gifts of palm wine and kola nut on his mission to make arrangements with the family involved. Is this slightly sweet overtones of lime, a pleasing bitter, so soften the time. Ooh. Yeah, so really quick, this is kind of confusing now. The two related xanthines, the bromine, 3,7-dimethylxanthine instead of trimethyl. See, that's what I was saying. It breaks down into that. I didn't even include this on my notes. So they say it's more potent, and then it's because caffeine turns into that. But it almost was feeling like possibly it's like the way it metabolizes is twice as different. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know though. I don't want to get into the silliness because this is just like, ugh, what makes it so special, man? And then theophylline, oh yeah, which is the technical one on Dramamine, which is 1,3-dimethylxanthine instead of 3,7-dimethylxanthine. God, my mouth feels so gross. I mean, it's not really gross, but it's weird. It felt like I ate a ball of dust. Well, caffeine occurs in the leaves as well as the seeds. This caffeine content of coffee Arabica beans varies between 0.6 and 1.6% the weight. In the caffeine content of the Robusta forms of coffee, Caniphoria is higher, usually between 1.2 and 3.2%. And Robusta lacks many of the flavoring found in Arabia, so it is often used for extracts and instant coffees. In addition to the alkaloids, we contain trigonylene amino acids, proteins, enzymes, carbohydrates, polysaccharides, guanic and associated chlorogenic acids, oils, waxes, that coat the bean, and a few pigments, at least 180 volatile compounds altogether. Aww. Silly. So yeah, trigonylene. don't know. Silly. This takes me back though, buying the USPC grade caffeine extract and staying up all night with friends, and then we ate like 3, poured 3, and started fighting each other after going to the grocery store about, I forget what it was, one play video game. It turned pretty gnarly though. It was way too much. I was seeing, what was it called? The Descendants in LA, this pop punk band. They're saying their formula was 10 scoops of instant coffee and they drinking it like a slush. I was just laughing on that. That reminds me of that. But yeah, oh god, man, to be young again. I just remember, maybe that was like one of the first times too I realized I was autistic. Like going in the grocery store and then like thinking about how catalogically everything is like organized, or they try to be in some like weird, like, I don't even know, it was just really stupid. You had to get out of the car and walk around and buy stuff. You know, so stupid. You can think of all kinds of idiotic fucking ideas. Anyway, so, not to be too negative, but yeah, no, we really did fight each other. It was like, I forget what it was, 7, maybe eating 7 of them, and then pouring 3 into coffee, so like maybe 12 in like 2 hours, and we were like, yeah. Really sucking each other up. I forget. That was the only time I ever sucked up and put down. But damn. Oh, I forget why. I think I just fucking was being like too much like a 3 Stooges, like. Anyways, go back to the thing. Okay. And if roasting it changes the chemistry significantly, of course. The 10% of the caffeine vaporizes, and even more of the in a darker roast. Perhaps the greatest effect of roasting is on the carbohydrates, which are highly pyrolyzed. And roasting also destroys most of the trigoline, converting it into nicotinic acid, aka niacin, which doesn't have a relationship to nicotine. It just has a very simple shape or something like that. But for a while this year, gotta have the niacin. I don't explain it. It just in this book he says that it's a trick to keep going, and I don't know. It's weird because they're like, it energizes you and it makes your heart health better. It's like, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so, but yeah, we're almost done with this. You got nicotine amide and the score of go back. Roasting converts the trigonylene, converting it to nicotine acid, nicotinamide, and other volatile aromatics. And most of the volatile compounds remain trapped in the bean. A chemist in partnership with trained coffee tasters and then able to identify and characterize astonishing large numbers of flavored constituents of coffee, like wine, which I always laugh about being a wine taster. After James Ferraro made like a joke, a meme about it, I was like, God damn, lucky bastards. It's kind of like me saying about being an expert in twinkling stars, kind of that level. Hell yeah, rock on over. Anyways, not to freaking diminish anybody or whatever, but special vocabulary to analyze the complex flavors and feel a cup of coffee. Acidity is distinguished from sourness, and bitterness is distinguished from astringency. Little molecules that have astringent are sometimes also bitter. And humans have no taste receptors for astringency, but chemists have been able to correlate astringency with the molecule's ability to precipitate salivary proteins and glycoproteins. And even if it's developed an objective in vivo model, what does that mean? The results combined chemical and organoleptic investigations indicate that the astringency in coffee, especially that with a metallic aftertaste, seems to correlate with relative quantities of caffeoquinic and decaffeoquinic acids in the bean. I definitely know your mate when you drink it. After a while, you get like this weird metal taste. But yeah, they're saying, but the thing is, coffee just lacks lots of the other nutrition stuff. That's why I was always like these other ones back in. But even now, right now, he's saying it's like the roast changes, gives more than I anticipated in the beginning. vitamin category. But these other things, okay, maybe we can make a little mark. This with my Iranian cold medicine. All natural Iranian cold medicine. It's not really Iranian, it's just like Pan-Indian or something. I can't remember the whole shebang, but I thought it was like, I gotta buy it. They look good, which is kind of funny. Okay, really quick. Okay, we're gonna go down. Excedrin's got 65 milligrams. Cold medicine is 32 milligrams. Jolt Cola 100 milligrams solid. Mountain Dew 54, which doesn't bad. It goes all the way up to. I noticed Talbot can be 100, 200, and instant coffee can have 65 to 100. Brew coffee 80 to 145. That makes no sense. I always thought it was stronger. What was funny last year though, we got this on. It was so rad, and I know they could take it off the market, but it was like this slime for like bicyclists, and it had, I want to say, like the minimum dose when you eat it was 300 milligrams of caffeine, 330 milligrams of caffeine. Oh my god, it was so good. It was good enough to where I was trying to hunt it down for like 3 hours on the internet. I couldn't find it. Like, we took it off the market. I was so mad, but it was really good. It was really good. You'd think you'd be like, oh, I can't take that much caffeine, but it was so like formulated otherwise, where it was just like, I remember just getting to work and wanting to start sweeping. So anyways, on the chemical side, semi-quantitative analysis have been made of scores of compounds for the coffee aroma and break down pathways of precursor compounds in the green bean to compound fresh in the roasted bean have also been traced, but because of the sheer number of compounds involved, the synthetic reactions occurring among the breakdowns produced, the chemists are quite quick to admit that these exercises have yet too little perceptive value in determining whether the green bean will develop a particular flavor, and the character of the body and the mouthfeel of the coffee have proved chemically elusive. It has been demonstrated that there is no simple relationship between body and viscosity. Experiments suggest complex interactions between bitterness receptors sites, astringent phenols, which two of them, or at least two, are 1,2 dihydroxyphenol residues. They suggest the complex interaction between bitterness and astringent phenols. It's so weird that he says there's no astringent receptor. I guess it means like, you know, the way that what's it called? Tannic acid kind of dries out your mouth, or whatever. Tannin. It's like tannin. Okay, tannic acid I think is like the coffee version, but tannin it would be like found in like lemons or something like that. So it's like I'm trying to explain it. Somehow I guess it goes back to like the. Because I want to keep budging in about, oh, I knew about people who did plant grafting or something like that. It's like maybe that it's linking back to that somehow. This book, it's so weird. It's like I can tell he puts so much padding sometimes on like the boring parts, but it still is good. But reading it out loud, Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyways. See, could bind to the salivary proteins, huh? All throughout this, though, there's been so much crazy research. It's so beautiful. It's like the thing about, they said there you could get morphine peptide was from spit itself, from some spit itself. I don't know what it's called. What else? Some crazy stuff. Yeah. God dang it! I'm still so mad the fucking internet doesn't look like it has the right information for that stupid supplement. Let's see this fucking Gotu Kola. Let me get off this freaking thing. He says really quick, the body in the tastes and tasters detecting similar differences with peppery, woody, grassy, green, and earthy, bricky, and cereal. Snore. He says, no, wake up now, I have some coffee. So really quick, this fucking thing. This thing was strong. I don't know if it's, I know it's, took me by surprise more so than anything. God damn it. It says Centralia acetacea herb. Nothing about the seeds. Real quick. And real quick.
very miserable right now. Alcohol withdrawal, very bad. Senses of very bad alcohol withdrawal. Anyway, so it says, let's go back to this thing. We got the numbers. Yeah, bad editing. Okay, on chemical semi-quantitative analysis has been on scores of compounds contributing to the coffee aroma. Blah 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 blah. Yes, you have done this. It says the oldest method is chewing the seeds. In Ethiopia, the beans are cooked in butter and made into cakes. In Yemen and other Arab countries, seeds are ground by the woman of the house in the morning by pounding. This sometimes creates problems for the people living in the apartment. Before the coffee may be drunk, the preparation of the coffee must be praised by the eldest male. Oh, that's great. To spare spouses and others from being cursed first thing in the morning, which impulse is itself at least partially the result of the coffee you drank yesterday. Alright, Ziggy, turn off the lights. Ziggy, turn off the bed overhead light. Ziggy, turn down the lights by 50%. God, my fucked up eyes. That's fucking Santa Ana wins. All hocus pocus. Actually, at the start of this book, what is it? The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Unless they remove this motherfucker, not to be all angry. With all this crazy name dropping where you can't even remember the names you dropped before war. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Chatter chatter. So yeah, maybe it's because I don't know. Okay. Coffee can grow naturally as a understory plant in the tropics as a shrub or a small tree. A high can grow to more than 12 feet, but it is usually pruned in ways that increase its business, leafness, and ease of harvesting. The white flowers give off a delicate fragrance. Now, until recently, nearly all coffee was grown in the shade in conditions mimicking its natural environment. The growers plant as many as 40 different kinds of tree as canopy cover, and a rich ecosystem develops epiphytes, mosses, birds, and other wildlife. But today, more and more coffee is being grown in cleared sun plantations. While these sun plantations are better suited to the capital and fertilizer-intensive methods of agribusiness, they offer no habitat for like the tiered whatever. For the hundreds of birds, animals, innumerable insects found in the traditional farm. Odd calling a coffee plantation traditional. In the cleared plantations, special care has to be taken to protect young plants from excesses of sunlight and lack of biological insect control necessitaries using more pesticide as a lack of humus or plant litter necessitates more chemistry and chemical fertilizers. I'm miserable right now. Said the pound to produce the shade-grown coffee, even though the yield per acre is higher, you buy shade-grown coffee to do so. So let's skip this if I always do it. The cover trees and shade plantations often use species of Acacia, Cassiia, Erythrina, and since Salvia divinorum grows well under its coffee tree, certain 3-level plantation designs come to mind that could have been highly viable both ecologically and spiritually, as well as economically. Sake and beverage, cup, extracted with hot water by refluxing percolated coffee, and by percolating drip coffee, and by decoction campfire coffee. So yeah, god damn, that Santa Ana blend is fucked up. I mean, I know people are gonna say, yeah, it's no, it didn't really make sense. That many people coming through the border, I guess, but the smells make no sense. I guess it's all in circle with everything else. Okay. So drunk in a demesasi, or drunk in demitasse with espresso, milk, cafe, or cafe late. Steamed milk with foam on top as cappuccino from a styrofoam cup at public meetings, from thermos directly, on occasion squirted through a rubber tube with plastic syringe as a colonic enema. Oh, right now though, oh my god, my face hurts so much after the idea about, this has nothing to do with this, but the caffeine pharmacology, if it's neurotoxic or not. I can't stop thinking about my face. It's driving me crazy. So it's like where before I wasn't, now it is. It feels very much like it. Although, who's to say? I really did have some very bad feelings though about that thing about burning that freaking wild cherry tree, because that soapy kind of smell kind of reminds me of it. And yeah, I don't really know for sure though. Sipped through a rubber tube and a plastic syringe, blah blah blah, as an enema. According to legend, according to legend about the coffee, we learned it from goats in the year 850. Southern Abyssinia, a young goat herd named Kaliri noticed that his goats were particularly frisky, frolicsome, and he brought them home in the evening. Curious, he followed them the next day and observed them eating the leaves and berries of the coffee tree, possessing that spirit of inquiry so necessary. I like that. To our ancient craft. That lad tried the fruits himself and was delighted with the result. The prior nearby monastery of dervishes followed his example and found the beans excellent for sustaining all-night prayers and devotions of his sect. Some might say the art of roasting and brewing coffee were revealed to mankind by the angel Gabriel. And Avicenna wrote of the medical qualities of coffee in the year 900. The first known cultivation was by the Arabian colony at Bihar in the 13th century. From Bihar on the banks of the Red Sea, coffee traveled to the center of the world, Mecca. Quranic authorities generally frowned on the coffee drinking, but by the 5th century, coffee drinking had it spread amongst most of the Muslim world. Coffee, introduced to Constantinople in 1453, the Ottoman Turks had discovered the secret of Greek fire. What is it? It's like a challenge. What is it called? I can't remember. Or at least able to conquer the ancient city. We'll go back. This is Muslim in a weird way, but I guess that's probably how it was previously before. Yeah, because I was thinking about what is the difference between the recent ones. I know that's insane to be like the spelling, but it would be like, these memories of fucking the war in Iraq is a little bit fucking stupid. This is one of the second things I found. I swear this was on a different version of the book. This is on the fucking Gotu Kola or something like that. What does it say though? Calligraphic leaf in Turkey, gold on tobacco. Yeah, absolutely did. Oh, there still is a horse though. Okay, maybe it's a different one. So yeah, I don't know why I saw this this quick news article headline that's like, oh, because we're in war, they have to like demonstrate each other. But right now, my fucking face is so mishmash of fucking chemical reactions. It's fucking pissing me off so bad. And I don't know if it was just the fucking stupid shit that got caught up in the air. I need to get freaking antibiotics or what? But it says, when the black spirits pour inside us, then the spirit of God and air and all that is wondrous within moves us through the night, never ending. Quote from Rumi, the 13th century. So religion, opposition to coffee drinking resulted in political prescriptions in among times during the 16th century. Subject of the debate was whether drinking coffee fell underneath the same Quranic prohibition against intoxication as wine. And kahwe, or kahwe, coffee, was also a poetical word for wine. Both sides of the debate had their opponents. Strict interpretation of this, but since the Quran did not specifically mention coffee, it was not forbidden. What? Is that where it comes from? Not to be too judgmental, but this is why I'm like, why is this a leaf on a different page in my memory? Why is there no fucking 4 horsemen of the apocalypse on this version? Right? Where'd it go? I forgot what it was. I described that drawing, but it was scary. Oh, it was so good. What? So many stupid shit to talk about. But yeah, so I see kind of like weird like laser lines in my vision, much like I was a little kid reading Arrowwood right now. I'm reading so much Arrowwood that when I'd look at a fireplace, it'd be stuck in my eyes, the color of somehow. Whatever. Okay. Also, I did eat some kind of cake with cinnamon, and I was thinking about the warnings of it lead having, because I'm like, damn, this is a dark looking coffee cake. It was good, but I was like, how much lead can you pack in that motherfucker? Anyway, so okay, so the strict interpretation is not, since the Quran did not specifically mention coffee, it was not forbidden. The non-literalist maintained that the wine was a symbol of inebriation, and that any substance that produced inebriation was included in the meaning. Okay, this is highly disrespectful to think about just the Dionysius. I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ, I'm wrong. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, you smell like burning grapes from a far nose. Okay, so. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so in 1511, the governor of Mecca prohibited coffee drinking with severe punishment for any transgressor and ordered all the beans destroyed in Egypt. The Sultan of Cairo felt indifferently and countermanded that order. But the issue was not settled. During the next several decades, coffee houses in several cities were destroyed several times, sometimes by quick punishment. Visited by customers. The issue was finally taken up by a board of Quranic scholars who declared that since coffee was not specifically mentioned in the Quran, it was forbidden to the faithful. It was not forbidden to the faithful. One more time. It was not mentioned specifically in the Quran that it was not forbidden to the faithful. This is after this thing, I guess. Aban Vibra recounts that after trial, the preceding judge and other members of the court retired to enjoy an evening of coffee drinking. Where coffee is served, this is a quote from the 16th century Sheikh Ansari Jaziri, Hannibal, al-Qadar. It says, when coffee is served, there is grace, splendor, friendships, and happiness. You flow through the body as freely as life's blood, refreshing that is you touch. My ally, I do whatever. Yeah, the poetic ally, what do you call it? This fucking thing. It says, the position of coffee ally in the letter or spirit debate is extremely important. That is the first data point, falls within the literalist camp. However, you may show more about the coffee ally's power to introduce her devotees into a pragmatic embrace of whatever position is the immediate aid to the goddess than to her intrinsic spiritual properties. Or perhaps those are her properties. intrinsic spirit. Some of these things, I don't explain it. The idea about anthropology, like, why is it so mixed up and like, why is it like this? But I think it's just like in Tikal, there's multiple art authors. There's not even multiple art authors. Like, I always thought it was. Whenever there was italics, I never thought it was him, and then it took me a long time to realize, okay, maybe it is always him. But even then, it's like whatever. Let's say descriptions of coffee drinking began to appear in Europe and England throughout reports of travelers. One of the descriptions was written by Raoul of Asterberg, who later gave his name to Serpentinea Raoul, the source of the tranquilizer Respirine. Well, I was laughing at the thing before. It was like somehow it was like what he means is Alex, like how it was so interwoven to culture that it was like, oh yeah, it's bad for you, and then they're just doing it not to be laughing at like ineptitudes, but just that's how it just is. I don't mean that at all, man. I guess stupid, because they were talking just trying to figure out the freaking literalist and non-literalist, and it's like, what is it, blah blah blah. Okay, so what's this thing? Descriptions is by the guy who discovered Serpentinea Ralphling, which is like, oh my god, that drug has been on my mind for like the last year or two. And those random like off super plants that I'm like, what the fuck? I know what is it called, like snake root in Jamaican. Herbalism is related to it somehow, but I don't really know what that is. It's like kind of, I've been thinking a lot about ginseng and all these things. I have a video I haven't published, but about Terrence McKenna was saying that what's it called? Hormonal that changes help propagate. Like chimpanzees who were digging for food sources, and then eventually, I guess, it made them closer to hominids somehow. And I forget what his things was. I remember it's talking about like a bunch of monkeys screwing, but specifically, I would guess it's like kind of like, I don't know. I want to get into it right now. I'm too crabby, pissed off. The first coffee house in the West opened in Venice in 1560. From there, coffee spread north over the next century, and though all the time the Arabs kept complete monopoly on coffee beans, foreigners were not allowed to access the Red Sea plantations, and no viable seeds were allowed to leave the country. But around 1600, an Indian pilgrim who was able to smuggle several beans back to Massauri or something by strapping them on his belly, a technique still used at border crossings, and other plants products have fallen under customary scrutiny. It's true, but it's kind of funny. I guess that's how it historically goes. In 1690, a group of Dutch mariners were able to steal several live coffee plants and smuggle them out of the airport of Mocha. They planted some of the saplings in Java, a Dutch colony already supplying Europe with pepper, nutmeg, and other spices. And at least one of the coffee plants was sent to the botanical garden in Amsterdam. And the shoot of this plant was presented to the King Louis of the 14th of France in 1713. One thing I was about the tea chapter, I was like, why is he saying that there's some that are good, some that are bad, and it has something to do with colonialism? It's kind of weird. I mean, it just seems so weird. Not because necessarily always about what is it called? Cultural. What's it called? I don't remember what it's called. It's made by a political think tank. It's called cultural Marxism. Is that I don't know why he's including it as much as I think that literally like the historic record is sometimes so smudged that I don't know. It's just weird, but I've studied it. I've thought about that more and more studying history because. So, 10 years later, an enterprising French officer, Gabriel Mathieu de Clear, the captain of infantry in Martinique, broke into the Jardin Royal and stole some of the plant. This is kind of like Disco Elysium. I forget what part of it, though. I never played more of that game. I guess I don't know the fucking boots are right now. I just want to get a save state and skip ahead to like the third day where you're stalking the giant invisible insect. I'm like, fuck yes. That sounds good. But it seems like I don't even know if that's possible. Okay, 10 years later, the enterprising French officer Gabriel, captain of the infantry of Martinique, broke into the Jardin Royal and stole the plant. This shit hurts. Okay. In this, he was assisted by Lady Court, who had broken into another manor and who had felt kindly towards him. declared to loot, set sail out of the plant on the West Indies. The voyage ran into bad weather, ran low on provisions, and the Clouds forced to share his own scanty water ration with his plant. We're gonna deal